Hello, welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today we're going to be talking about YFI multi-time frame. I'm going to draw in this chart with no indicator. So we're going to be using simple price action strategy that I developed myself to be looking at the price and seeing if YFI bulls can still make it back to the all-time high of 94k once again in 2022. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. Now remember, this is no financial advice, but if you end up liking my strategy and my style, to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'm constantly coming to update you on every altcoin. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. Now let's start by getting all the support and resistance on your chart. But before we start, can we understand the current market statistics of YFI? Now the current market price is trading at 24,673 dollars, of which it has seen a downside of about 2% in terms of price. Now the next thing we want to talk about is the total market cap. Now if you don't know what total market cap is, total market cap is the market value of a cryptocurrency circulatory supply. So if you put the total amount of the current supply of YFI, then the current market cap is around 903.963,113 million dollars. I repeat myself, approximately this time, $903 million approximately. So of which it has seen a downside of about 2.27%. Now, if we talk about another important statistics of YFI, is the circulatory supply. If you don't know what the circulatory supply is, it is the amount of coins that are circulating in the market or that are currently in public hands. So in terms of that, YFI current circulatory supply is around 36,639 and 36,637.72 tokens. 36,637.72 YFI tokens. Now, the total supply, if you don't know what that is, it is the amount of coins that has already been created minus any coin that has been burnt, and the total supply is around 36,666. The maximum supply also is the total supply that can ever be existed in the lifetime of this token. It's also about 36,666. So currently about 100% is already in circulation. Can you imagine? 100% is in circulation. That is huge, because how many people, just a little demand can skyrocket this price? So that is something to take note of in terms of YFI. Now, what is the all-time high? The all-time high of this token was around 9 months ago, when it hit the price of about 93,435.53 dollars, $93,000 approximately. If we're talking about the all-time low, about 739.44, right? That's about $739 approximately. Now this coin has lost about 73% to the upside, right? It has lost about 73%. That is why from $93,000 is trading at currently at $24,000. So my analysis on YFI, if you don't know what YFI is an aggregator service for decentralized finance investors, using automation to allow them to what, maximize profit from yield farming. But we're not here for fundamentals, we're here for the full analysis. My prediction is, my last prediction, I said YFI is going to 94k. So this video will help us find out if that move is still possible, because obviously this market has been stuck in the sideways. Obviously you can see there's no really, even though we had a move to about 40k, it has returned back to where we started, and I am here to update you, right? So these are my most important areas of my chart. Using the horizontal line, I'm getting support and resistance. If you don't know what support and resistance is, it is the most important areas on your chart, where levels where price gets to and could not move further. So let's say price is going up, price gets to these levels and price can't move further up, and maybe it's going down, price get to a certain level and price can longer go down, but probably reverse, right? So price is constantly going up and down. Nothing goes for up forever. Everything that goes up must come down. And then nothing goes down forever. Everything that goes down was at some point will come up, right? So whether it dies and will evaporate somehow, anyhow, it will what? It will come up. So if you tell me that, hey, rocks don't go up when they come down, well, at some point they turn into sand and dust and evaporate, and they are in the air, all of that. So everything has up and down. Just saying, don't mind me, Jerry. So that is my support, and this is my resistance area. So in terms of price, what I mean is there is always a pullback. It's like a thrust and a pull, right? Move like this. This is how the price constantly is moving. And sometimes when it revises, even when it's going down, it moves like this. And then there's sideways. So you must know that price have life cycles. We have the bull market cycle, the bear market cycle, and of course, equilibrium, right? During the time of sideways market. So I have gotten my support and resistance, and the next thing I want to get is this, the sideways market. It's very important, right? So you can see that whenever price gets to this range, price is stuck within this range, right? So I'm taking note of that. That is where you see that second line is, that's what it stands for. So I'm going to get the what? The resistance area, and I should use blue, all right? And the support area, right? On the contrary, I think this should move down like this. Much better. So this is it. So what I'm going to do next is try to get the buyer's line and the seller's line. And I think there's a clear buyer's line, obviously right here, where we currently are. And if I to draw a seller line, I'll tell you the one they have formed now, it's not quite that clear, right? But let's take note of it. Each line we're drawing, we need a minimum of two touches. Now, I can also say that I can still call the pattern they are forming. Now, these are patterns. These are all price action pattern formed inside the Bitcoin Gorilla box. So this is the Bitcoin Gorilla box, the box that I developed. So this is the resistance, the supply area of the box. This is the what? The demand area of the box. That is for the biggest box, right? And we have two box. There's another box inside the biggest box. That is the second box, which is this one. And this is the supply area, and this is the demand area. I just had to tell you that so that when I'm explaining, you will understand. Now, this pattern that we just discovered is called an expanding channel. This particular pattern, right, is called an expanding channel, right? So it's a price action pattern. It's a beautiful thing that we find it inside the box. So all these actions are taking place inside the box. So here's the thing: breaking through this range has been a difficult move for price for quite some time, right? So you can see that even though before this new line is formed, because this new line that I drew here, this new line it just formed a seller line. But before then, I can tell you there's an intraday seller line they somehow were respecting that they broke, right? So let's go to 4 hours. Remember, this is a multi-time frame analysis. I'm going to draw that line. All this drawing is done on the weekly chart, so we're going to start interpreting the chart now, right? So we're going to go to daily chart and see what this chart looks like. So this is what the chart looks like. We drew the whole chart on weekly chart, right? So this is what the chart looks like. It tells me that before now, price was respecting a seller line, an intraday seller line. This is more working for a 4 hour trader, this seller line. It's more like a 4 hour trader seller line. So this is what it looks like on 4 hours. So this seller line got broken here, right? But unfortunately, there's a bigger seller line, which is the weekly seller line, which stops price from moving further down. And there is no coincidence that is very close to my supply area. Remember, I said this is supply area and this is demand area. So for me, anything that gets close, now one thing about it, sometimes it doesn't touch it entirely. Okay, I think it's me that needs to adjust my box actually here. It's me that needs to adjust my drawing a little bit. Just zooming in, I'm saying that I should have adjusted that box to this point. Why did I do that? Let me show you. You can see right here, you can see their reaction, you can see their reaction, and you can see their reaction. So exactly the same reaction occurred of recent right there. So there's no coincidence. There's no coincidence at all. So if you're watching my chart, if you're watching sorry, let me take that back. If you've been following my analysis on YFI, I said the move breakout is not going to be an easy one. So it's going to need patience. Why is it that YFI is going to need patience? You must understand the struggle. History repeats itself. The struggle in the past, this struggle has been going on since when? Let's check the date. Since what? Since 2021, around January, they struggled this from January, they struggle until May. That's when they broke that level, right? So now when they returned around, in fact, they didn't even spend more than a month above that level and they got them pulled back. And since they returned into the same level since that June, they have been struggling to either even go either up or down. So you see, the battle is like there is an equilibrium between buyers and sellers in this range. And you can see that when they fall below it, they instantly entered my what? My demand area. And what does that result? It means buyers started overcoming sellers. So chances of a bounce was high. So if you were following me, I said during the plus one, it was around that 18K that we are going to see a bounce up. But it's not going to be a yes, for a long term, the target is 94K for a long term, right? But in the short term, it's going to actually get a lot of resistance, especially around that 40K to 44K and 38K to 44K. There's a lot of challenge because in the past, it is obvious in the chart, right? So that is the first thing first. But they did a very wonderful thing by first of all breaking through this seller line that they attempted, and then they broke through it. So they came for a retest. What you're seeing now is a retest of this seller line that got extended. So an extended retest. Why was it extended? One thing you must know, no matter how much this altcoin really pump, except there's a breakout, right? Even if when there's a breakout, when Bitcoin suddenly start dumping, it kind of find a way that it pulls everything down with it. I think when Bitcoin start dumping, altcoin traders, most of them get scared and most of them pull out of their trade, right? So they just don't like, Bitcoin is dumping, everything is going to dump. But most cases is not like that. So in the case of YFI, patience is going to be needed because just the same thing that was happening is happening right here. But do not worry about it going below 18K again. No, it is not going to do that. It is actually still within my word demand a range, right? So chances of a bounce is what is high. Chances of a bounce is high. So once they bounce now, they will attack at 32K. So they will get a reaction because now we have a new seller line, which is down this returning one, right? So this could now push them a little down. So a sideways could still be experienced around this zone. But once they are able to get out of this seller line, then expect price to attack this time around 44K toward 54K. Now when they get to 54K, another wahala they go face. Why will they face another challenge? Now that's 4 hours. I'm going to go back to daily chart. So well, first of all, let's clear the chart to have a better view of it. So if we go back to what the daily chart, now I'm about to show you something on the daily chart. Here is what I'm saying on the daily chart. If you look closely, hold on. So if you look closely on the daily chart, you find that in this past, there is a reaction here, 52K, 54K. So I need to pull that line. This line is not touching the right place. Run this zone. Why did I pull it? I got a touch and I missed here. There's another one inner here, and there's another one inner here. So which tells me that when they get through this point, when they get through this point, they are going to actually, once they get into my supply area, there will be struggle. There will be power struggle between buyers and sellers. Right now, there's a power struggle between sellers and buyers because sellers are going to be overpowered by buyers. So very soon we're going to see YFI, but there will be a style of drag between them. As long as they are still holding through my line, right? The channel is still in play. So chances are they will make an attack up. So when they make the attack up and they attack the seller line, once they get above it, they will likely what? Go up. Either they get stopped around that 32K, right? That I like I said, and then return, right? And then move like this, or they could just go straight, depending on the demand rise staying around here. And I do really see volume picking up anytime soon. Right now, as I'm talking to you, there's no volume on YFI. There's nothing showing that we're going up, but I am seeing YFI going up. So anytime soon, volume is likely going to pick up. That is daily chart. So let's look at the monthly chart. Now let's try to consider the candles. What are the candles saying, right? So let's look at the candles together. When it comes to the monthly chart, I like looking at the candle themselves. So I'm going to turn off the whole drawing, right? So this is the candle, and what we are seeing here is on the monthly chart we have less data to work with, which helps us make better interpretation of our candles, right? So on here right now, the current candle is really a fake out, right? So what happened is there is a breakdown. If I draw now, all this will bring. So if I draw this point, it's like, are you seeing this? So there was a break to the downside, which was like a fake out, then a break to the upside, but now we have returned, right? So they are heading back to this 22 to 24K range, right? So at that range, if you buy this range, please make sure you put stop loss. If you're buying Wi-Fi right now, make sure you don't let your stop loss go below 16K, right? Anything that goes below 16K is not looking good. I'm going to be very honest. I'm very honest in my analysis. I'll tell you the good side. I'll also tell you the downside. Because anything that goes below 16K will be heading forward for that 12K range. And you do not want that kind of thing right now. You do not want that. I like using stop loss. If you're buying and your coin is on an exchange, always learn how to use stop limit order to set stop loss, so that, see, there's one thing about crypto. It either it goes your way or it doesn't. If it's going up, the stop loss will never hit, the sell order will never pick. But as long as it goes down, you don't want to get stuck in a trade. Because why? You make money when your money circulates, not when your money is stuck in a coin. So that if you get a good entry and you get a good coin, it doesn't matter if you have to hold it for 2 years. At least let it go up and not down. Going down is wasting of your time. It is tying your money down, and a lot of reason. This is from my personal lesson, and I'm telling you, if you want to know more about Bitcoin Gorilla, you can actually visit my website, Machiavelli Traders, where I have a family that trade with me. I'm a high leverage trader, and anything you want to know more about me, I will leave the link under this video so that you go and learn more about me and understand more how my Bitcoin Gorilla strategy work. My lesson from building my strategy is that, and my lesson with this market is that, it's simple. When you enter a trade, it's either it goes your way or it doesn't. There's no need of just tying yourself down and hoping that it's going to pull up tomorrow morning. It is a waste of your time. It is a waste of opportunities. It is tying down your money. It is mentally stressing. So what I've learned is this: if I'm trading, there's a difference. There's a difference between a trader and an investor. Do not think you are an investor when you are a trader, and do not think you are a trader when you are an investor. An investor will just buy and hold because he believes in the company, that the company after 6 years or 3 years will appreciate. A trader is the person that will buy. Yes, it could be a mid-term, right? It could be 3 months, 6 months, but he wants his money to constantly circulate. If you want to go into investing in crypto, it's quite different from going into trading, right? Because you want to get to buy it on time, sell it on time. So please use stop loss if you are buying now. And if you are already on trade, I think we're in a good position. We're in my demand area. So likely 52K is going to come, and I'll come and update you, because our target is this expanding channel. Because the move I see in the long term is this move, right? But it's going to take a while. I'll keep updating you guys. Our update now is that we're going to get a bounce in